Hey everybody, this is Sue Craig, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Cleveland, Ohio. And today I have another card for you. It can be a Christmas card. It doesn't have to be a Christmas card. Let me show you what we're going to do today. Today we're going to be making this card, and some people in my class said they didn't want to put Merry Christmas on it because it looked like it could be used for other things. And I get that. We don't know what we're going to need, and it's nice to have some cards in reserve so you can just stamp them as you need them. The card is made with this embossing folder called Traditional Wreath. It's a 3D embossing folder. I put it through my stamp and cut and emboss machine so that it is embossed. And yes, it is a large embossing folder, which is really nice. We have a lot of people that are scrapbookers, and so this is really nice to put on a page. What I did was I cut this down to 3 3/4 by 5 so that it will fit on my card base. The things that we're going to need for this are going to be white, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. And then I have blackberry bliss, which is 4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to layer these, and of course an envelope. In order to do the embossing with the 3D embossing folders, for either a Big Shot or for our Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine, you're going to need the white plate, which is number 1, and then the specialty plate, which is number 4. You just put your folder between that and run it through your machine. So what we're going to do is one of my favorite techniques, and this is the embossed side. You can see things are raised up. We're going to turn it over and use the debossed side. You'll see that the impressions go in, and that's the side we want to work with. What I liked about this card is that it has colors that are not typical Christmas colors, so you could use it for Christmas, but you don't have to use it for Christmas. And this technique is very, very easy, especially if you want to make multiples. And you can use any embossing folder, so it's not, can be for anything that you have in your stash. So you're just going to take your ink pad, and rather than put it straight down where it's flat, I'm going to lift it up just a little bit. If you go flat like this, you run the risk of having it stop and grab, and it will put more color onto your card. It'll blob it like that. And so you want to kind of raise it up just a little bit so you can direct it. And this will add it lightly to your card. You can always add more, you just can't take it away. So I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to do the same thing. With this technique as well, you're going to be able to add more ink if you want when you have the 3 colors on here. So the next one I'm going to use, sorry, I used Old Olive, and now I'm going to use the Blackberry Bliss. And I want you to see the difference that it makes when you add the blackberry to the olive. Look at the difference. I think it is so pretty. Again, I'm lightly adding it. And then I'm going to use Pretty Peacock. This is one of my favorite colors to use. Just lightly go over. I feel it grabbing. Did you see that? All is not lost because we're going to have our circles there. But you can see, look at the pretty blue in here. Glad I could demonstrate for you how this is going to grab if you... All right, now you can take a look at this and say, I like how it is, or for me, I want to see a little bit more of the blackberry bliss. So I'm going to just run a little bit more of that on here, and you see how that's now blending with that peacock color. That's what I meant. If you want to add more to it, once you have the 3 colors on, that's what you can do. All right. What I didn't show you is that I have circles that are cut out. I have a 2-inch white circle and a 2-inch peacock circle. And those are hiding somewhere. Let's see if we can find some. Where have my circles gone? There we go. They got stuck in the envelope. All right. Here are my circles, and they are the same size because all I'm going to do for my card is to overlap them just a little bit like this. And like I said, this part here is going to be covered up by my circles for the most part. You can decide if you want your wreath to go on this side or the other side. And for some reason, I liked it turned this way. So I'm going to take my adhesive and put it on the back of my white circle and just kind of align it. It's easier to do it this way than to try to do lining up the circles like this. All right, let's see. This has got to go over here, and then this has to go over here. It's harder to get your border on the other side when you do it that way. So I like to do it this way. And then I like to add dimensionals to the back, again, to raise it up. Now another option you have on this is to add some bling to it. And I know this is on the retiring list, but I liked the gold holly leaves. So I used 2 of those with glue dots. You could use it with glue as well, but I added it down here to the bottom of my card. You can do whatever you like, if you even want to use these. Now, there were ladies that did not want to make a Christmas card, and so they left the holly off. They left the sentiment off. And they made their card just like this. Some of them said it looked nice, like it could be a sympathy card. So you do what you need. It does make sense to leave them blank, especially if it's something like this. I mean, this is a wreath. It doesn't have to be a Christmas wreath because it's not the typical red and green. So we're going to add our image panel to the Blackberry Bliss. Then we're going to use our bone folder. Push down on that scored area. And we'll put adhesive on the back here. I'll show you some other things that you could use to decorate your card that you might have in your stash. Okay, so this would be kind of what your finished card would look like. Now, if you're going to leave this unstamped, you probably don't want to put dimensionals on the back because that's going to give you an uneven surface to stamp with. So you would wait to put the dimensionals on. You would stamp it, then put dimensionals on, and then attach it to your card. One thing you could do on this is to take your dauber and you could add the color of your choice, whether it's peacock or olive or the Blackberry Bliss, around your white, and then stamp your sentiment. Another thing you can do, which is one of my favorite things to do, is to take your embellishment. Now, I used pearls, and take an alcohol marker and color the embellishment with the alcohol marker. Now, this is going to take a little bit of time to dry, and I know it's not a Stampin' Up! Blends marker, but I was using Copic markers years and years and years ago, so that's what I have my investment in. But the Stampin' Up! Blends will work beautifully with this as well. So you're just going to color these, let them dry, and then you can use these on your card, and you can see how nicely this matches what we have here. So you can take your accessories, your embellishments, especially if they're white, and you can add color to them to add to your card. I like to do that with ribbon as well. If I get white ribbon, in fact, I like to get white ribbon because then I can take my alcohol marker and color it the color that I have in my card here, and then it'll go perfectly with the card that I have. And then you're not saying, I have all these rolls of ribbon and I don't have any that I can use with this card. It's a good way around it. Another thing you could do would be to take your Stampin' Write marker, and you could fill in these little berries and make them that color. You could also do that with a gold gel pen. Just go ahead and fill those in depending on, you know, how you want it to look when you're finished. So once again, this is an idea of non-Christmas, and this is an idea of Christmas. Now, unfortunately for you, this is a retired stamp. I love this stamp for my Christmas cards. It is one of the most beautiful Merry Christmases. And it's retired, but it came from the set Perfectly Plaid. I like this set too because on the inside of the card I can put a Christmas tree if I want for my personal cards. Again, I want to show you a workaround. If you don't have some of the things that are current, look through your stash, see what you have, see what might work for you. Well, I hope you like this card, and I hope you give it a try. And thanks for watching.